Dragons. Without a doubt, one of the coolest monsters in fantasy and real-world mythology. I've been thinking about them a lot recently, no idea why, but I've been thinking as well about how they could fit in The Witcher 4. Do dragons have a place in the next Witcher game, or are they becoming an overused trope that has already been explored to death? Well, let's talk about it. Dragons are present in almost every culture in the world. They seem almost hard-coded into our DNA. A flying reptilian monster that breathes fire, born from our deepest, most primal fears, perhaps from a time when we were little mammals crawling around dinosaur feet. Well, in The Witcher, they're not so different. There are 4 true types of dragons in The Witcher: black, green, red, and white. But there are some notable exceptions born largely from genetic mutations and special circumstances, such as sea serpents, brown, rock, silver, and gold dragons. Also, dragons don't just breathe fire in The Witcher. For example, green dragons breathe acid and white dragons ice, but of course fire is the most common weapon in a dragon's arsenal. As in real-world cultures, in The Witcher, dragons are also interpreted differently depending on the culture. Nordlings and Nilfgaardians tend to hunt them for the treasure they often hoard, or the special alchemical qualities of their tears and teeth, whilst those in Zerrikania worship them as gods, and many want to protect them. Non-humans also have their own customs regarding the beasts. But to get back to Zerrikania, for example, in the Golden Dragon story, there are 2 Zerrikanian warrior women who guard the Golden Dragon in that story, Hors Jackdaw, or Villentretten Mirth, acting as his sort of followers, whilst the Nordling and non-human hunting parties attempted to hunt the beast. Interestingly, in some cases, witches like, say, Geralt of Rivia don't hunt these beasts, as they consider them to be sentient and therefore not really monsters. This helps to explain why Geralt did not immediately kill someone like, say, Regis upon discovering he was a higher vampire. He has sentience, he may be classed as a monster in textbooks, but Geralt doesn't consider him to be that way, and it's possible that many other witches may have this opinion. I mentioned that dragons have a proclivity to gather treasure, and this is due to their innate cunning and intelligence. Unlike other draconids like, say, basilisks and wyverns, they are very clever, often so clever they can seem human, especially in cases such as Villentretten Mirth and Sacenthesis, which are 2 dragons that we see one in the books and we see one in the games. What makes these dragons special is Sacenthesis is the daughter of Villentretten Mirth, and Villentretten Mirth is a golden dragon, the only known golden dragon we've actually seen or have proper evidence for, and he was able to transform into a human, as is Sacenthesis. Well, they can polymorph. And this is not every dragon, of course, but it just gives you an idea of how intelligent and strong these monsters can be. And even the normal dragons have a significant level of intelligence. Dragons are often portrayed as the ultimate enemy to humans. There are tales that they once ruled the entire continent from Nilfgaard to Kovir. Dragonfire was the bane of human cities, witches were made to defeat them and sorceresses trained to fend them off. They were said to be immune to poison, that they frequently toyed with their prey, and essentially were the ultimate monster. Except a lot of that isn't really true. Many argue dragons barely interfered with humans, save for taking the occasional sheep from an outer settlement. In the Golden Dragon story, a green dragon was also poisoned, so that is not really true. Dragons can also be poisoned. Mainly, humans just wanted to hunt them for their treasure and they made stuff like this up. I mean, I'm sure a lot of it is based in fact, but that's the general perception of it, and dragons were hunted to essentially extinction for their treasure. So how could they fit into The Witcher? Dragons are quite clearly unique, and an intelligent monster of that size and power is something we haven't seen enough of in The Witcher. Yes, we see a dragon in The Witcher 2, but this is a special case. A dragon who is also a main character, can polymorph into a human, and ultimately you can only fight her in a very particular setting. I want dragons to be more commonplace, or slightly more monster-like, I should say. For example, a similar mission to the dragon hunt in the books, you could go to stop some hunters, or decide to take part in the hunt, then a proper fight like one of the wyvern or other draconid fights in The Witcher 3 could occur. So not something that's so scripted and you press this button, it's something that is actually a proper encounter in the world. I really like that about The Witcher 3 because it feels like real monsters, and I want the dragon to feel like a real creature or monster, a unique encounter you could miss if you don't fully explore the game, or perhaps a few encounters. If the game spans multiple areas, maybe we could have an event with a sea serpent whilst traversing the ocean, then in the north of Kovir in the Dragon Mountains we could encounter a white dragon breathing ice or something like that, or in a more volcanic or darker area we could fight a black dragon. There are a lot of possibilities with some great potential for really cool encounters. Imagine being a witcher delving through an icy or pitch black cave, getting going deep into it and finding a dragon guarding its treasure. Either you can turn back and leave it in peace or go forward and claim the hoard. It could be a completely random encounter, so you happen upon a hidden cave and suddenly realize what you found, or you climb a mountain only to find one nesting at the summit. Obviously it's important to keep it rare, as if they were literally everywhere it would definitely ruin the mystery of them a bit. However, I will say that if it's set in the distant past, this could be quite cool. Maybe they're more common, meaning you can find them, it's just quite difficult, and there's a financial incentive to hire witchers for hunts. Schools could send out witchers to bring back some of the treasure or something like that, and of course you could just happen upon them. I'm very curious what you guys think about these ideas, because we don't know a lot about The Witcher 4 for now, but if it is set in the past, or potentially in the future, or after a conjunction or something like that, we could see a lot of dragons in the game, and that would be really interesting. I feel like it's such an unexplored area of The Witcher. We've seen Saskia, for example. We've heard about Villain Trettermirth in the books, we've never really seen it in the games. We had the dragon in Thronebreaker, I know, that was a sort of event, but that's a little bit different, it's kind of a side game to the main series. I want to see them as something we can actually see in the Witcher mainline series as a real monster, and I really want to know what you guys think about that. And I must stress that I do not want them to be overdone, like something like, say, what happened in Skyrim. I don't want them just to be going and destroying cities or attacking constantly. I want it to feel like a real monster that is mysterious, as it should be in the Witcher's lore. Yeah, of course, if it's in the distant past, maybe a dragon could end up attacking a city at one point, and it could just be a single event, and that could be quite interesting. I don't want this constant stream of it, is what I'm saying. I feel that in The Witcher it's great because you have the kind of common monsters, right? Then you have the rare monsters. I think about something like a Leshen. You meet a Leshen for the first time, and it's like, whoa, look at that. And you only encounter a few throughout the entire game, and it feels like this is an old thing that is almost not going to be in this world for much longer. And I want that with dragons. I hope that today's video has given you all some ideas of how interesting dragons could be for The Witcher's story. It is largely an unexplored area in the Witcher games, as I said, only appearing in The Witcher 2 and the spin-off game Thronebreaker, so I'd like to see them as a real monster in the game, something that when we encounter, we feel the full danger they bring. I want it to feel like when you encountered a Leshen or a Chort or a Fiend, something like that. Immediately you know this is something else, not just a drowner or wild animal or normal monster. It has intelligence to its moves, more so than even most humans or non-humans. A true ethical or combat challenge for our Witcher. But thank you for watching, please like the video to support the channel, and subscribe if you want to stay up to date and see more. I really do appreciate all the support, guys, and please comment what you'd like to see in the next video. I really do appreciate it, guys. I'll see you all soon, check out my other channels, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have an awesome rest of the week.